arena. And I found him on Facebook, and immediately I saw what he was doing, and my spirit connected with him. And I immediately signed up for his course without talking to him, right, Solo? I ain't even talked to him. What I was reading, what I needed at that moment in my life. And that was about 2 years ago. And I signed up for his coaching program. So yeah, even though I'm y'all coach, guess what? I got a coach. You know, look, it's like this. Some people can't take you where they've never been. So if a person has been there before and they're majorly successful, you might as well follow the path, because it shortens your path to success. So since I've been connected with him, man, it's been an amazing journey. I followed his program. I know how to do credit, but I learned other strategies about fixing my own credit and building my business credit from him. I thought I knew it, but this man here, All right, without further ado, I present to some and introduce to others, none other than my main man, Solo. Go ahead, Solo.
What's going on? What's going on? Hey, look, you make it hard on me with the intro. But I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate everybody on the line. You know, thank you for the prayer. Thank you for the kind words, and I definitely will give you guys some gems. You know, because Elder Keith told me to bring you some information. Says coalition need a pickup for some financial literacy, and I want to make sure after this call that you're able to not only, you know, receive the information but execute without coming back asking me, you know, and it be your own success story. So I want to make sure I can present that for you guys today. And if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen and show you a presentation.
All right, Therese, give him to share. Therese, where you at? Who's the host?
There's already have the option to share.
Okay, so Solo, go to share screen, that green tab. Hit that. There you go.
All right. All right, let me actually turn this. Okay, does everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, we live. So, yeah, I just wanted to provide, you know, a short masterclass for you guys. You know, I want to bless your line during this Tuesday call. So, like I said, this is more of a short form, but I want to make sure that, you know, everything is in here, you know, is understood. And if any questions at the end, you know, feel free to give me a shout out, and let's see what we can figure out from there. So what I want to teach you today, what I want to go over is how I went from 0 to 5 million in OPM, other people's money, why you need a finance consultant, or why that's needed for your business at some point. Next is how to become lendable, because a lot of us want capital, but we're just not prepared for it. You know, a lot of things I always talk about in the bank is the bank really doesn't have anything against you, because they judge you by black and white before they ever find out if you're black or white, you know? So what we want to do is make sure that we can become lendable by having the right things in place, right? So where to go for lending is more important too, because think about it. It just takes the fun out of funding if you don't know where to go. I mean, you constantly getting decline, and it's just like, you know, what's next? So we're going to tell you where to go to get lending, and specifically in your state. I mean, I think that's very important too, because a lot of times, you know, we hear about a lot of national lenders or geo-restrictive lenders, and we're just not able to qualify for all the capital. So I want to show you how you can. And next, last, I want to show you actually a funding sequence from a client that just recently got capital from me. I believe it was like last Monday. And he got over $250,000. And I want to show you exactly how I did that, and also exactly the institutions that we went to help him achieve that. So, yeah, any questions? Definitely. Ready to roll? Any questions from here? No? All right. So 4 people that you need in your corner, right, to be a successful entrepreneur. I wanted to put this out here first because I think, you know, like Elder Keith said, this is a Lord, this is a journey, you know. This is a journey, a marathon, not a sprint. And these individuals, I don't think you know, necessarily need them all at once, but to be a complete, you know, to feel, to have peace, to be whole, this needs to be in your lineup. Accounting and a bookkeeper. So you have to think about it. Accounting and bookkeeper is almost like the heart in the human body. It's the lifeline of the business. It's what pumps. Cash flow pumps your business, right? So if you don't have somebody who can document what's coming in, what's going out, you really don't have the ability to forecast, right? So if I can't forecast what's coming in, forecast what's going out, I can't make an educated decision. Just like if I'm a coach. If I'm a coach and I ask you, hey, what play would you pick if it was, you know, 17 to 10, and you're like, well, I need some more information, right? I need to know it's 17 to 10, it's the fourth quarter. I need to know much time is left. And when you don't have all that information, you can't make an educated decision. So accounting and a bookkeeper, number one will be one of the important things you need. A lawyer, to say the least, you know, at some point, you know, you might get into some trouble, you might need some documents, some things, you know, lawyers definitely needed, right? A finance broker is not just because of me, because it's me, you know, it's just somebody that you need because a finance broker can be so many things for you. He can be, you know, somebody that helps you with structuring your business for capital, for investments, for protection. A lot of people think wealth is just in the momentum phase and the drive. Wealth is stability. You know, I mean, you got to think it's protection, and all of these things. A good broker can find you these people, so you don't have to go out and find them. A banker is number 4. So with a banker, the reason it's important to have a good banker is, and it's important to have multiple, but specifically a specific banker that you choose to marry, right? And this is why I say that is because banks, that's how they operate. We want to marry them, right? And how we marry them is we date them first, and it's by continuing to build small relationships, whether it's business checking account, business savings account, merchant account. All of these relationships let this bank know that we're serious about them and that we want to do business, and also, you know, bringing in good deposits. But a bonus, you know, for successful people, you need is a coach and a therapist. And I'm not saying bonus because they're not in the top 4, but they're not in the top 4. The coach is needed because, just like Keith said, when you get to a certain point, it's like, I can't grow anymore because I've seen all I can see. And I've gone as far as I can go. And now I need assistance. And also a therapist. You know, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. So, and I apologize, I didn't go about myself. So I initially, you know, kind of like Elder Keith said, I was a college athlete, standout. Thought I was gonna be, you know, I wasn't preparing for anything but the NFL at one point. And you know, because I'm here talking to you about financial literacy and not about, you know, touchdowns. I mean, I obviously went the other route. But yeah, after I found out I wasn't going to the NFL, I went back to school and got my master's degree. I literally, you know, made a 180, you know, got into corporate America. I actually got my master's degree in mental and clinical health therapy. So I was a therapist when I started off, kind of branched into the recruiting space, you know, in a year after. And then after that, I made the exit from corporate America. But following these strategies, you know, I didn't leave because I was overflowing money. I just had all of these ideas. I left because I was stable enough. I had saved enough. I had enough credit behind me. I had enough cash flowing assets and businesses to be able to hold me over. So that was my method of leaving. I don't want people to think that I used my job to leave instead of leaving before I was ready. And the double bonus is person you need is an Elder Keith, right? You need somebody who's gonna go in and make the relationship that you're not gonna make, go in and find the people that you're not gonna find and put it together. I mean, reason being is just like I said, like a finance broker, people who have information that you don't have is super important. Like anybody be, you know, people in the coalition, you have access to grants, you have access to information, you have access to people that if you weren't in, you know, you have to win, you got to be in. And when you have people like that, they can put you in a situation to win like that. You need these people in your circle if you want to be successful. So I want to add, I put an Elder Keith on to be a little special, but yeah, I wanted that's definitely a person that you need in your business. And like an Elder Keith, you need somebody who, you know, a lot of times when people ask me to do stuff, like I've had people like literally hire me to, or say, go to a conference and represent our company because they just didn't want to go. They said, look, we want you to go and represent us, you know, because we like how, you know, we like how you represent us. We like the information that you present, and we just need you to do that for us. So there's so many things that you can do by being resourceful. All right. So where do you stack up? So this is another reason why you need a finance broker. So 15 million businesses get started. 15 million businesses got started since the pandemic. So the pandemic birthed a lot of entrepreneurs. And you know, granted, it should have. Also, 82% of businesses are undercapitalized. Why is that important? 82% of businesses are undercapitalized because if you're in business, I mean, if you're in a room with 10 people, you know, only 2 out of 10 of us are financially stable, right? 8 out of 10 business loans are declined. Why is that important? 8 out of 10 business loans are declined. That means people are actively looking for capital and actively getting declined on a daily basis. And most of the reason they're getting declined is because they're out taking information or acting on information without having what I like to call a scouting report. Like know what the capital is for, know what the requirements are, and know what you're going to do with it. Also, 70% of business loans renew. That means the people that are getting loans are continuing to renew their loans and continuing to go after more capital. So that means the people that understand and get approved for loans, they understand they're going to continue to need this in their business to grow. And like I said, not knowing where to go financially takes the fun out of funding. It's literally, it can be so stressful. You know, you can feel like people are out to get you when in reality, they're just trying to, you know, give you what you qualify for. And also, I want to, like I said, I want to go over my funding journey, how I got to 5 million. And I think it's very important to kind of see sequences, right? So this is a recap, and this is like, you know, I mean, this is a high level, you know, it's a quick level, but I want to kind of go through this. This is how I started, and it's important to go over this about how I started. I literally started with a $500 secure card, like most people have to start with. You know, we have to figure out a way to get credit before we have credit. I started with a $500 secure card. It was actually from Wells Fargo. I moved into a 30K auto loan, an 8K jewelry loan. And after my secure card had seasoned, I went and applied for primary cards. And at this point, I had about 10 primary cards, about 45K was my highest. I had 229K in total limits. So at this point, and I mean, I didn't go through all the credit cards that I got, but this was very important, these 10 cards. I got a mortgage. My first business card was with Wells Fargo. And that's kind of when my life changed because I fumbled into financial literacy. This was something that I struggled with. Like I said, being a college athlete, one thing, or just being in college in general, a lot of times we don't realize that we graduate with the same financial input that we started with. So an 18-year-old graduating at 25 or 24 or 21, they literally have the same financial mindset they had out of high school, right? So nothing has really changed because they haven't been challenged with anything, having to do anything. So, you know, that's when I say my life changed because I didn't know anything about business credit. I literally went into the bank. I had started a business. The teller literally said, "Hey, you should try a business credit card." I said, "Okay, you know, I got a lot of credit cards. You know, let me give me one." So I literally got the business credit card. Something happened. I maxed it out. I forgot to pay it off, and I've never forgot to pay off a personal card. But because I couldn't see this card because it was on my business credit profile, I just didn't, you know, see it to pay it off. So I realized, you know, I was about to get my first late payment. I was just like down. I had 800 credit score, and the bank told me, you know, I mean, I called and I was trying to apologize and tell them about the late payment, and they were like, "No problem, just pay it when you." Well, they didn't say pay it when you get it, but say pay it as soon as possible. And I'm like, "Well, what about the late payment?" It was like, "Well, it doesn't work like that on the business side." And, you know, that's like when the light flipped for me. And I realized, wow, you know, I have 10 personal credit cards and this one business card it's not reporting to my personal credit. It's not affecting my debt to income ratio. I clearly just got a late payment. I mean, I didn't call them until 7 days after. So the late payment you know, it didn't report to my business credit report in a derogatory format. And I literally realized that I can go out and repeat this process. So after that, I mean, I literally started what we call, you know, credit card stacking. I started going after different business cards, and I got my first 80K auto loan. Obviously, got a little from the first one to the 80. I got guess things went up a little bit, and then I got a 50K unsecured business loan. And that from this 50K unsecured business loan, I went and repeated this 4 times. I literally same process. Let my account season for 90 days. Went and got 50K unsecured business loans, and these were actually business lines of credit that I could continue to renew. And then and I didn't just go to 5 million. So I want to kind of give a little bit more input on that. So in 2017, 2018, I got into the e-commerce space. And this is not about e-commerce in general, but this is about having a vehicle, right? So e-commerce for me was a vehicle for me to cheat the funding process. And I'll kind of explain what I mean. So when you're banks literally get paid off transactions and interest, right? So if you're not transacting and you don't have a huge seed capital sitting in the banks really aren't making money off you, right? And I mean, that's fine for you, but for the bank, remember, this is a partnership. And if I don't make money off you, then how can you, you know, ask me for money without any collateral, or money with collateral, anything, right? So what happened was, because I had an e-commerce business, I was able to, well, that was the first business that I did over 7 figures in, but also what it did is it was a transaction every day, in my business. And because it was a transaction every day in the business, and I was doing well over $50,000, you know, plus I wasn't doing anything. This was a passive business, but the passive business did, outside of making me money, it created me a lending profile that's undeniable. So when people saw my business that is normally just a consulting business or normally just a lending business, I literally merged my business. I didn't create a new LLC for the business, but I put it inside of my consulting business. So when I have dry months or when I have slow months, the business literally took, you know, it replaced the months that I wasn't growing, that I was having, you know, bad financial months. And what it did is it continued to let the bank know that he's continuing to track higher and higher and higher without having any slippage. Because, you know, when you're going for capital, the banks like to see consistent income flow. They don't like to see that you made 100K, then you made 10K, then you made 80K. Like, to you, that's a great 3 months. To the bank, that's inconsistent, and they won't give you capital because of that. But knowing that, you know, you won't feel, you know, you feel like you're getting attacked when you hear that information. But that's literally how I got to 5 million. It was because of e-commerce. I got into a business that literally supported credit. And it's important when you go out investing that you think about things that support what you have. If you have a lot of cash, that might not be the best investment. If you have a lot of credit, it's literally an investment that can continue to get you more capital. So whatever your next investment is, it can be literally a pick of your choice. All right, so to get funding, I think this is important. So it's 3 legs of funding, and understand this: the 3 legs of funding is credit, income, and tax returns. And I'm gonna go into this a little bit more deeper. With these 3 legs of funding, just understand this: if you have one of the 3, you can get approved. One of the 3. So if you have amazing personal credit, you know, for all my people with 720 or better, I mean 700, but 720 or better, you know, undeniable. That means the majority of personal lines of credit, personal loans, personal credit cards, business credit cards, some business, no stated income. I mean, well, stated income, no doc loans. When you have great personal credit, they don't ask you for docs sometimes. You want to know why? Because you haven't had it's not a reason to. You don't have a red flag. Income is always going to be a leg of funding, because the more that any institution sees that you produce from a cash flow perspective, they feel more comfortable. It's almost like you feeling comfortable. If you were the lender, would you lend to somebody who was high earning, or let's say you had some money that you wanted to get back? Would you lend $10,000 to somebody to your cousin who you hadn't seen make 10,000 since you was cousins? or would you lend it to somebody who had the capacity to pay it back? I mean, in your mind, if you're the lender, I'm lending to somebody who I can get my money back from. I'm lending to somebody who I have a opportunity, who has the opportunity to see this kind of money, and this makes sense on a loan. That's exactly how the banks look. The banks look at it and say, okay, well, this person is doing $10,000 a month consistently. We can possibly give them XYZ because we see it coming in each and every month. If you have credit plus income, you can get even more capital. If you have credit plus income plus tax returns, and tax returns is simply this. Tax returns don't mean that you have to have crazy net earning or even crazy gross earnings. Tax returns means that they have to be filed and you have to be in business 2 years. So a lot of the reasons a lot of people get approved or don't get approved for business funding is because they just don't have 2 years of business. And if they don't have 2 years of business, they don't know any workarounds. They fall into that category of the businesses, 7 out of 10 businesses getting declined, was because they just don't have what the banks are looking for. And they don't know third-party lenders that don't have those type of restrictions. Because you have to understand credit, income, tax returns. So that means I want to see good credit, I want to see good income, and I want you to be in business 2 years. If you have all of these things, you can achieve maximum funding. Just like the individual that I'm gonna talk to you about, he was able to achieve over 300,000 in funding. And we're not even done. We pretty much have to stop because we just got too many inquiries. So we're gonna take the inquiries off and start back over. But it's important. To get a max funding, you need to have all boxes filled. If you want to have great, still great funding. I mean, with just great credit, you can get over 100,000. With good income, you can get over 100,000. But when you have all of the above, you become, like I said, undeniable to the lenders. All right. So I want to kind of give you a roadmap to max funding. So, I mean, obviously, if you have any type of derogatories, we're going to go through this a little bit more when I show the funding plan, but we want to start off with credit repair and building positive accounts. And credit repair and building the right positive accounts. We don't want to, nothing against, we don't want to see Tomo cards. We don't want to see Credit One. We don't want to see, My Jewelry. We don't want to see any institutions that aren't going to have longevity. Because when we look at this, rent reporters, I mean, I know you probably heard or seen a TikTok or somebody say, hey, get rent reporters. It'll give you an extra trade line. Yes, it will. But that's it. What after? What's next? Well, it doesn't. If your goal is to rent for forever, maybe it's not so bad, but I mean, honestly, it's a temporary thing. So just imagine if you got rent reporters in, I don't know, 2018, and now this account is 5 years old and you're about to qualify for a house. What are you going to do? Are you going to cancel the rent reporters, which is your oldest trade line? Or, it just kind of puts you in a bad situation when you have accounts that you don't want to have for longevity. When you think about your credit reports, you have to think about it like this. I mean, it's a couple numbers that are going to go with you until you leave this earth, right? And the credit score is one of them, and the Social Security. So when you think about that, you have to be mindful of things that you put on your credit report. Regardless of what you heard, you have to make sure that you have either you do your due diligence or you have somebody that can give you that excerpt, because the majority of clients that I see, the reason that I can't help them get capital like we want is because of how they started. They got off to such a bad start with building bad accounts or building accounts. I've seen people with 10 credit cards and all of them be store accounts, Kohl's. I mean, everybody who offers a card and give them 20% at the register, they say yes to. Now, because they had good credit, nobody told them no. But they thought that was good because everybody approved them. But what happens is now your credit it's filled with synchrony cards. It's filled with cards that are what we call co-branded cards. So it's like, why do I want a co-branded Amex card? I'd rather go to Amex. Why do I want a co-branded Chase card? I'd rather just go to Chase. Because at the end of the day, Chase is the bank. Chase is the one that can continue to give you increases. This card right here, I mean, they might leave them and, decide that they're like Target. They might leave this Target card and decide they're going to another institution. So you just don't want to put yourself in that situation. Also, personal credit score. If you have great personal credit, you can always get approved for funding. And it's important. A lot of people, talk about requirements. When I say no docs, I mean going into the bank, giving them your EIN, giving them your articles of incorporation, and being able to leave out with 50K. That's without showing them your finances, without showing them your tax returns. That's just going in there with the credit that we're talking about. So that's why it's important to have a good personal credit score. Before I even get to how important, the importance of building business credit, the most important thing, if you look at this list, personal credit is in every single one of them because it's the most important. Building business credit is also like once you get into getting loans and getting lines of credit and getting over $100,000, $150,000 lines, building business credit becomes very important because now lenders, they look at you and say, okay, we got a personal credit look, we got an income look. Let's see how he treated other lenders. Let's see how he treated other cash accounts, because that's how they make the determination before they're gonna give you the same thing. I mean, business credit, they literally will match you across the board if you did right by the other institutions. So that's why it's important to build your business credit so you can continue to scale up on the funding pace. Also, personal credit score, building business credit plus financial statements is just like we said before. That's the key to max funding. All right. So I kind of want to give you a little bit more technical. This is where we call underwriting, and this is like some of the information that I have going into helping clients get funding. And I mean, it might not be as important to you, but I want you to know, I want you to know what the banks are looking at, because what we have to understand is the banks are judging us before we apply, because they already have data points. They literally already know the client that they're looking for. It's almost like in marketing, you say, who are you looking for? Age limit, like it's literally just like that with the banks. They want who they want. So you want to make sure that you're able to position yourself to look like that, to be able to get the capital that the banks have, right? So if you have 3 to 5 revolving account, and I put cars, but this could be accounts, right? And with credit cards. So if 5K is your highest card, then you can expect to get a 3 to 7 approval rate, 3 to 7K approval rate. So reason I'm trying to say that is so people aren't surprised with what they get. That's why a lot of times when people come into funding and they say, well, hey, are you interested in an authorized user? And you might feel like somebody is selling you onto something else, but they're not. What they're doing is they're trying to get the median approval rating up so we can auto approve some of these loans. If you come in with a 20K credit card, your average approval can be 18 to 25K with any institution. I mean, within reason, but with any institution, when they see 20K, they already want to give you that or above. When they see 5K, they want to give you that or under. It's important. The same thing goes with cash accounts. If you have 3 to 7K, if you have a 5K highest, what you can expect is a 3 to 7K approval. If you have a 20K loan or 20K personal line of credit, I mean, it's very rare that you're going to get anything less than between 18 and 25K. And also what they look for is obviously an auto loan, because they like to see a mix of accounts as well. Mortgage is optional. I mean, you can get approved for 300K without a mortgage. I mean, sometimes mortgage can hold you back depending on how much you owe. And also minimum, they want to see 30 to 50K in total open accounts with 2 age years. If you look like this to the bank, then the sky is the limit. And with third party institutions as well. I mean, the banks aren't the only people giving money now. Shout out to the pandemic, because it literally changed banking. The fintech industry changed how banking operates, and we're going to go over that when I show you the funding plan. So minimum of 2 years credit history, 2 years of tax returns, minimum of 2 trade lines. So everything in finance has this law. It's the 2X theory. So if you have a minimum of minimum of two years in credit history, then you're good with the bank. If you have 2 years of tax returns, you're great with the bank. If you have a minimum of 2 trade lines, then you're ready for capital. All right, so, and this is just some do's and don'ts. I don't know about everybody's credit situation, but this is just some things that you can do to improve and strengthen your credit in the meantime, right? So every 3 to 6 months, I ask for limit increases with all of my credit cards. At this time, I don't do it as much on the personal side, but I still do this on the business side. With as many credit cards as I have, I still I practice. Like I said, I practice what I preach, and I also practice good habits. It doesn't matter how many credit cards you have if you're not still following the same fundamentals. And the reason I ask for an increase is because I'm trying to get access to as much capital as I can on these cards. because I mean, at this point, I can use the cards just like I could use a loan. I mean, I have credit cards higher than some loans that, you know, people will offer. So having that access, I don't have to go reapply for it. I don't have to keep going asking for it. I just can use it when I need it. Another thing is combining your credit cards for max limits and then reapplying for the card that you closed. I'm gonna kind of give you an example of a card I actually just got today. And this is an example of closing. I don't know if you guys can you see this card? I don't know. Can anybody see this?
Yes.
All right, so yeah, this is a card that I actually combined. And so this is a $89,000 limit on a you know, business credit card. But the reason why I'm saying it is helpful is because, you know, I mean, I don't know how many people, you know, it's not too easy to get 89,000 on a credit card, but how you get it is ultimately like how we do anything is how we do everything. So we want to have a strategy on what we're doing, but combining cards to get the max limit, I can go apply for the same card I just combined, get another limit, and you know, combine these at one point, you know, down the road, because I mean, ultimately we want higher cards. We want to go vertical with our cards instead of just going wide. So every time we can get a chance to increase or get a chance to condense and go up, then I would do it. I don't, you know, every bank isn't always like this, but just a, you know, shameless plug. I mean, like BOA, Chase, you can close. I mean, like at one point I had four Chase cards. I closed them all. Yeah, and it's not about closing cards, but I combined them all rather. And I went back and applied for all three of them. So, you know, those are just some strategies you can have to maximize what you already have. And then also, so, and this is if you're able to, but maxing out your credit card, and this is why for me the e-commerce was super helpful. I mean, I would never just max out my credit card for any reason, you know, unless I was just paying it back. But the business allowed my credit card to continue to be used, continue to be maxed out. And this is why I was able to continue to push those limits. But maxing out and paying it off 1 to 2 times a month, I mean, literally, if you have cash sitting in the account, I would, and it's available, and you have a 5K card, I would put the 5K on it. I would pay it off. You know, I mean, not spend 5K, but if you had like Melio, or you used a service where you're able to pay somebody else, get your cash back, and pay yourself back, I would definitely, you know, definitely recommend that. Also, if you qualify for a line of personal credit, it's important. Let's say you had any credit card debt. Qualifying for a personal line of credit is good because you can remove the debt from the revolving side and put it on the installment loan, where the installment, it won't be a problem as opposed to it being on your personal credit card. Also, if you ask about a limit increase and they tell you that they pull an increase, yeah, I wouldn't do it unless you, I mean, have a strategy to remove the increase, which you know, which is easy to do. But if you don't know, I wouldn't take a hard increase pull if you don't know how to take them off. Also, never tell the bank that you're in a financial jam when you need an increase. You know, one of the dudes, I know some people say, well, you know, I just need a little bit more. You know, my business hasn't been doing as much. You know, it actually needs to be just the opposite. It needs to be my business is, you know, going through change, right? And you just tell the truth. I'm just going through a change and it's going to be an upward trend when it comes. And I need some more capital because we've been crushing it and we have a marketing plan and blah, blah, blah. But these are the words that you need to have when you're trying to get an increase. And before I give you this, these to save, let me do this. Let me show you guys. Okay. Is this still clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going over, this is one of the things that people get inside of my program when they're ready for funding. So this is pretty much called a funding plan, and this is a custom funding plan for him. So obviously what we did was we underwrite his file. You know, we went in and we looked at, you know, where we could get some additional capital, where he was already had relationships with, where we could strengthen, how we could combine accounts, even how we could get limit increases prior to starting. And I'm going to kind of show you that throughout this funding plan. So, you know, just kind of do's and don'ts, you know, what you need to know before funding. You need to have your fraud alerts off. You know, pretty sure you guys are familiar with the UEI numbers now. You know, you want to have UEI numbers or your DUNS number. When we're dealing with credit cards, we're doing what's called the shotgun method. Um, and this is like the credit line increase. I mean, it's not a major list, but this is just some of the short ones. So if you have an Amex, if you have a Chase, if you have a Bark, well, you would go through these, but it shows which ones give a soft pull for increase limit increase and which ones give a hard pull. So what the benefit of that is, you know, if you know Amex gives a soft pull and you already have an Amex card prior to funding, then we want to do the soft pull before we get started, right? Because we want to maximize, so we want to get the most amount of capital without increase as possible. I know that sounds like, well, how do you do that? But this is one of the ways. So if you have a Discover, and this is just a good example. He had an $11,000 Discover card that he never got a limit increase for. He was able to get a limit increase for $23,000. He was able to get an Amex card that he had 10 years ago. He was able to get a 20K increase. These are live, you know, approves that even yourself. I mean, if you have a city card, great example. If you have a city card and you want to increase, you can apply for the increase through your app. If you call in and ask a representative, they'll give you a hard increase. US Bank, same thing, soft pull. Wells Fargo, you can call, you can apply on the app, soft pull. But those are just, you know, some of the places to go before you start funding, or even if you have some of these institutions and you haven't used them because you're not sure, these are how they pull and what they do. Also, we pretty much tell the clients that we want them to apply for their own funding so they can see exactly how to do this process. Because I mean, my goal is not to, it's to empower. It's not to continue to have you to continue to come back. I mean, although I would love to assist, we want to show you how to streamline this process for yourself and for your small business, or for just for you, so you can go out and scale your own. This is just kind of just some information about the reported income when we're dealing with stated income and how to apply it. But let me go to the qualifications. So let me go to qualifications. So this is to be qualified for funding. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen some of the qualifications, but this is where I say I don't even start funding if these things are together for me personally. So you need to have less than 3 hard inquiries in the last 6 months on each bureaus, or we need to consider starting, because it's no reason to start funding. And like I said, if we're not getting max funding, there's no reason to do this. It's no reason to get one here, 2K here, 1,500 here, 200 here. And you realize that you really just wasted your time getting 11K when you could have waited until you were structured and gotten 60K and gotten 70K, and then that be your launching pad, as opposed to, just launching with the bare minimum. Utilization, it needs to be under 30%, 20 if you want max funding, 30 if you want funding, if you want to be approved. You need to have no new late payments within the last 24 months, no derogatory items, that's collections, charge off, public record, judgments, late payments. You want your credit score to be above 700 FICO score. And we're talking about your FICO Bank 8 score, which is pretty much your banking card score. We also want no more than three recent accounts open in the last 6 months. And like I said, with AUs and trade lines, they're optional, but they can help you get additional capital. So this is going into the funding plan. So this is what we got for him. I can actually pull up what he's approved for. So the first thing was capital on tap. Remember how we talked about the banking industry being changed? Fintech. This is a fintech company. This is not a bank. It's actually an overseas company. They literally have came in and lended out more money than most credit unions. I mean, not more banks, but most credit unions, because they're trusting the customer. So he got 40K from Capital on Tap. He was able to get a 40K approval. This is with no inquiry. All you have to do is log into a system called Plaid. I don't know if you guys have heard of Plaid, but Plaid is simply like it's the reason that you don't have to send in documents anymore, because what they do is they look into your business, or they look into your personal whatever. I mean, they make you log into your bank account, they get an overview, and they give you, based on what they see, based as opposed to based on what you say. So capital on tap is not a stated income, but they also have no inquiry. And before I even go into this, what Sterling's first how this funding plan started was him going into banks. It was not from the online. So before we started, we established a relationship with Wells Fargo. We established a relationship with First Citizens Bank, and we established a relationship with Key Bank in branch, right? So before he ever started on this funding plan, he already had 30K from Wells Fargo. I don't know if I do know somebody who got a chance to get a Wells Fargo card without any inquiry. Wells Fargo gives out 20 to 30K without any inquiry. All you have to do is set up a business account. You literally, the kicker is you need to have at least a 700 credit score. If you have a 720, it's guaranteed. If you have a 700, and I'll say this, I've seen 680s get approved, but why I'm saying 700 is because it can be more on the borderline as opposed to 720. You can walk in, walk out, they'll offer you a credit card. It's stated income. You don't have to provide any documents. He also went into Wells Fargo to get a business line of credit. But I'm actually go through the whole process with you, but let me show you. So Capital on Tap gave him 40K. It was no inquiry. And notice this isn't just a whole bunch of cars to apply for. This is a sequence. Because if you apply for these cars in any other sequence, you may not have the same results that he had. So like I was saying, it's important, like I said, how we do anything is how we do everything. So Capital on Tap, the reason it is first is because it's no inquiry. So you can literally apply for this right now on the line, but you would need to know these statistics. You want to make sure you're at least doing minimum 5K of revenue and Capital on Tap on your business. If you're not doing 5K in revenue, this isn't a good card for you. But you can get this card with challenge credit. I mean, you can get it with 650, with 620, I've seen, because they're really going off your income. They're not really going off your credit. And they just don't want you to have terrible credit, but no inquiry. And they're giving out huge lines. So he started with 40K. They actually go up to 50K. Citizens Bank gave him 20K, no inquiry. So this is another hack too. So I'm gonna tell you about the Citizens hack. So Citizens gives a business credit card out. There's no documents. You can get it with no documents, no inquiry, and no previous relationship. So that means you can apply online. You never talked to them before, ever before. You can apply online. You can come in with stated income and literally get approved for up to 20K. On a business credit card without. Now they are geo restricted. So what geo restricted means is when you go to Citizens website, you have to see what states that they actually are doing business in. But if they're doing business in your state, I highly suggest going after a Citizens business credit card just to give you some startup business capital because of how. And now I will say this: you need to at least have a year in business. Citizens isn't really big on the 6 months or less. Corpay business card. This is another fintech company. This is another card that does not pull inquiry. So as you can see, we went to 4 different places, and with this specific client, we were already over 120,000 before we ever got an inquiry. So why that's important is because can you imagine you have $120,000 and you haven't even nobody's even pulled your credit report so anybody else can see. So it really puts you ahead of the game when we get down into the bottom of the application process. So Chase Inc. gave him another 40K. American Blue Cash, the Amex card gave him 4K. Key Bank gave him 17,000. Bank of America gave him 8,000 and 17,000. FNBO gave him 15,000, and Truist gave him 15,000. So just a great funding process. Well, with him, I mean, he was very excited. I mean, he got everything that he needed, and we're still moving forward. But this is just some additional that I want to show you guys. So the reason why this is important is because every single one of these cards and every funding line of credit that we apply for with him was all what am I trying to say? Well, every funding line of credit was all applied for was on the business side. So what we did was we went in and removed the inquiries. So now what we're going to do is go back after some things that we missed, and like PNC, just different banks that we didn't apply for. But I want to show you guys. So this is something I give my clients inside of the funding plan. So I tell people how to actually find places in their area. So somebody give me an area. Where is somebody at? Where we at?
California.
Boom. I love Cali. All right. So California. So we know the cost of living going up in California as we speak. So I'm gonna be quick. All right. So California. Obviously, you can see all the cities in California. You can actually find your city. But even more important than finding your city, I would just go down to the bottom. All right, so you would list. So this is the list of all the cities and towns in California. So I would go to the side where it's the top 20 banks in California, right? And the reason I would go here and start here is because I can now see all the institutions that are giving out a lot of capital, have multiple offices, and are obviously doing more for the institutions. And a lot of people don't know about sites like this because literally, like, so this is another bank that one of my clients got a 50K line of credit, then went and got a 50K credit card with no docs. You wouldn't know about it because it's just not a popular bank. But once you start going into the different layers of California, and what actually city or town are you in California?
Oakland.
All right. All right. So, and to just get it even more specific, so she says she's in Oakland. So, and this is just going to her area. So it already showed the top 20 banks. Now it's going in specificity of banks that are, and this isn't just random banks. These are banks that are lending the most capital out to people in the area. So now you start seeing banks that you might see before it, or banks that you drive past every day and you don't think anything of. But these are the relationships that we want to get clients after we've gotten them capital. So after we've gotten you capital and you're on your own, we want to give you a list of places that you can actually go in your area, and how to find those places is the most important thing, because even though sites like this are out there, people just do not know. And they don't know how to find institutions that lend in the area a lot better. So this is one of the ways to find it if you're in Oakland. Also, let's say you're not so credit driven right now and you might need to be in a rebuild phase. Well, this is another place. So credit unions, same thing with credit unions. Top branch, it literally can give you all the top branches in every city, in every area in the United States. Going back to California, like we can literally go through here and find out, okay, who's lending in Cali, what credit unions are doing the most, how many locations they have, how many members. Actually, they used to have a feeling when they show how much they lend out from an annual standpoint. But I think now they just rank them from number one down as opposed to breaking it out. But this literally shows exactly how the credit unions that are doing the most in California have the most branches. And instead of you having to apply for Navy Federal, Northern Redwood Federal Credit Union might, it's just like having access to somebody else, and you don't have to just always go with what's being thrown out there. And it gives you options. But these are, two sites that I highly recommend you guys save and write down, because in your funding process, you want to get specific. Like what I showed you on the funding plan was not specific, that was more custom. But once you get done with all of that, once you get everything out the way, once you got all the no doc, remember it's levels to funding. You're not going to come in with the same capital that I'm coming in to achieve some of the funding marks that I have, or you may have more capital than me, but you don't have your file set up properly to go out and get this credit. So in that case, like I say, you just want to make sure that you have some type of process, some type of some type of overview that you're looking at, so you can be able to go out and get this capital. And do we have any questions?
Yeah, I do.
Shoot.
So can you go back to slide number 3? Right there, right there. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Go up to number 3, I believe. Okay. Come down, come down, come down, come down. Yeah,
Okay.
right here. So this right here. All right. So it says apply from your home address for IP verification.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
due to the rise of fraud, this allows the bank to verify that you actually is applying. So a lot of people don't quite understand that.
Okay. Yeah.
Elaborate a little bit on that.
100%. So in the lending process, lending game, a lot of people, just like myself, you know, I'm not going to be excluded, but a lot of people are charging you, or you get charged funding fees, you get charged a lot of this, and people do the applications for you. So let's say this same gentleman, if he would have came to me outside of my program, I would have just did the funding for him. Well, we got, you know, and we settle up at the end. But you know, the people who come through the program, I've literally seen an influx of people, or that you literally, they are approving you for more capital based on where you apply. I know this is small stuff, but this is like, you know, it's like every inch counts. And if they're approving you for less, it's because they don't know where you are. You know, you approve for something, you apply for something out the country because you just saw it, you know, and they give you 3K and you just think, okay, well, at least they approved me. But you don't know if you were at home, they might have gave you 17K. If you were, because they know for sure that this is a person applying and this is you going about it. So they're literally looking at your IP address. They're looking at where you pinged in from. So yeah, of course we can get a VPN, we can put it in your state, we can even try to put it in your city, but it's less it's less impactful. And then also, like, people in the group, I want them to specifically see how we're doing this process. So it's not rocket science, but it is information. And once you have the information, then you can apply it at your own pace. We got a question?
Okay. Yeah, so Tina had a question. Somebody had a question. A couple of people. Hold on.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yes. Can I go?
Yep. Yeah, sure.
Okay, this is John Wilkes, Jara Supportive. You were talking about soft pull and hard pull. A soft pull won't jeopardize your credit score. Is that correct? And you may
100%.
want to go ahead and explain what a soft pull is to those who don't know what you're referring to.
No, absolutely. So the reason that soft pull and hard pull, and this just this, you know, this image is important, is because when the bank assesses your credit profile, which is pretty much AKA looks into it to see where you're at, they either do what's called a soft pull, where it's just a look, or a hard pull, where they actually pull your credit and they leave a hard inquiry. So when you're looking at your credit report, you may see you have 6 hard inquiries. These are inquiries that actually have a negative impact on your credit score. Soft inquiries, you can have 30 soft inquiries and it have 0 effect. You have 6 hard inquiries and it has immediate effect. So that's pretty much the biggest difference. And when you're going for capital, or just right now, you know, why I say go for a limit increase every 3 to 6 months is if you have this list and you have some of these institutions already. Navy Federal, good example. You apply from the app, it's no limit increase. I mean, it was limit increase, no inquiry. If you call in and talk to a representative, they can possibly do possibly do a hard pull. So just knowing some of the information, you're able to scale through most of these. So Wells Fargo, Citi, like if you have Wells Fargo, Citi, and Amex, you could literally do a limit increase on all of those, you know, in reoccurring every 3 to 6 months. And obviously you want to be using the cards, and I mean, it's other things that go into play, but just in general, that's what you need to get the capital.
I have a follow-up.
Okay.
So in essence, if you're going for apply for a loan or whatever, you want to make sure that they're going, whatever pull they do, they need to let you know so that they don't, so it doesn't affect your credit score. Okay.
Before we move forward, you need to tell me what you're doing to my credit, you know, because that's what you want to do. Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Anybody else? Wait.
I have a question.
Yes, sir, I do.
Let's go by order, Beverly. Tina Bundridge.
I can't even see that.
Hi, this is Tina. I was
Hey,
checking to
Tina.
see how much your course was, well, your program.
So what I'll do is I'll give you I'll get you the book of call link and we can discuss it.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Okay, Bev.
Hi, this is Beverly from Philly Nat Cat Community Inc. My question is about the
I'm sorry, did you say Philly?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
My question's about the IP address.
Okay.
I'm asking because in 2021, I was part of the T-Mobile hack.
Oh wow.
And my information was sold on the dark web, including my social security number. And it's just been a revolving door of terrible things since then. You know, I actually like just within the last 2 months, I've had 2 bank accounts opened at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning with Key Bank and Bank of America. And, you know, it's just what happens. But I actually had to have my home IP address changed because the more the banks and everything, all the fraud departments looked into it, they thought there might actually be something from my neighbors that was attached to my house purging information. So how would we go about preventing things like that?
LifeLock.
Okay, right. All right.
But no, honestly, it's definitely programs to just to give you an example. I'm actually it's a credit monitoring site. Let me not go blank on you. It's a credit monitoring site that offers insurance for identity theft. It's literally part of the credit process. I mean, it's $20 a month, $30 a month, and it provides that additional care. I mean, I believe Experian actually does it too. But yeah, sometimes when I mean, it's like right now the growing rate of fraud is people who do fraud are so skilled at this point that they should just be doing the regular thing. And why I say that is I hate to say that, but it's like, yeah, they might have stopped it, but it's kind of hard, it's kind of hard because they know so much. I mean, they can mirror your images. They can I mean, literally, they can make your social in a second. They can, yeah, but yeah, like you want to definitely be safe. Protect your information as much as you can from putting your information online. Like I will say this, I usually do everything online. I don't go as far as getting what do you call that, like a temporary loading card, but every transaction online is with a business credit card, specifically not a personal credit card, because like you said, I don't want something to happen that I can't remove. I don't want something to happen that's going to affect me personally, that I don't have, any recourse to. If it happens to my business account, I'm immediately shutting it down and I'm immediately letting them know this is fraud. This is how I've been affected. And then you have a lot more security when you're using, like, so online, I'm not debit card, I'm only credit card. I'm only something that, you tell somebody stole or somebody stole something that wasn't yours on a debit card, you got to get put on hold. And they're not coming back with good news. But with the credit card, it's like, okay, let us look into this. We don't want this to happen. These are literally regular people who don't want this to happen to themselves, but they definitely don't want it to happen to you. But yeah, I'm sorry about the fraud part. The only thing I can say is just an additional layer of security, just to because once they have it and once it's already being utilized, I mean, we don't know when they're going to use it again because they have the information.
Yep. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
No problem.
What time can I call you tomorrow?
No, I'll be free. I'll be free tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Solo, can you put your website in the chat?
All right, I have to keep. Now you about to show I'm not the tech savvy, like but I'm playing. But let me actually. This is the. Let me know if this comes up.
Yeah. So the landing page that he has is right there in the chat box. Y'all can copy that if you want to give a call.
Yeah, and let me actually. I did say I was going to show you all of the, but actually we can finish the questions. I'll just show you as we go.
I had a quick question. Center with Power and Hope Resources. Yes, thank you very much for your presentation.
Appreciate it.
if a person is facing bankruptcy or something like that, how can a person reposition themselves to get back into funding and stuff like that after a bankruptcy with, personal win or business, a past business?
Okay, so I guess the long short. So bankruptcy is, it is not final, right? It's really not a final thing. It comes off being final. It's harder to, I mean, obviously to remove, but one of the things that I always say is if it's still opportunity, then you still want to be growing. And one of the things that you're able to do now is, I mean, you're literally able to grow your, how can I say this? You still can build business credit. You still can build business credit with the bankruptcy. Really, the only thing that you don't want to do with a bankruptcy is do nothing. It's literally just say, okay, I'm just waiting until this goes past, because it's not going to pass if you don't do something. Another reason is you don't want to go into another season where you're still worried about the last season's issues from, lenders not taking you serious, lenders saying no, lenders declining you. So the number one key to banking and lending, the word that doesn't get mentioned a lot is relationships. It's literally, that's why I say you literally have to date the bank, marry the bank. And I know it sounds like this is literally relationship 101. It's like, how do I show you I'm interested in you? I mean, let's be honest, ladies. The brother that comes with the rose versus the one who doesn't answer your calls, the one who doesn't come to the. It's just like it's the more things that you can do allows it gives you more opportunity, right? So it's like if you have a savings account with the bank, you want to get a checking account. Well, you say, well, why? I don't want to put more money in the bank. Well, why? You want more relationships. You want to be so wound up in the bank sometimes that they're like, we can't take anything from him. He got everything with us. Yeah, he's not treating Chase right. We seen he just, you know, defaulted on another loan with Chase, but he hasn't missed a payment with us for 2 years. So banks operate off relationship. They looking at it, look, you treating me better than you treating them. Maybe it's not my business why you treating them so bad, right? And when you think about that, it's like, well, if it's not my business why you treating them so bad, then that means that we can continue to do business. And with a bankruptcy, that's the most important way to build. I'll kind of give you a little. So PNC, I would set up an account with PNC. It's a credit union. I'm sorry, PNC. PenFed. I would set up an account with PenFed. Reason I'm specifically speaking with them is they work very good with bankruptcies. They literally set up account, put some capital in there. I mean, literally change how you spend. Like, let's say you bank with Chase. I would move my money over to PenFed. I would let PenFed see my bank, my check stubs. I would let PenFed see my daily or weekly deposits, because the more stuff that you can show them, then they'll give you a credit card. I mean, literally, they'll give you a credit card. Surprisingly, they might give you 5 to 10K. And it's literally places that you can build around the bankruptcy. But when you have bankruptcy, you have to understand you do have a target on you, and you have to go to places that will deal with you. And the people that will deal with you are the people that you build a relationship with. So I would start credit union first, and then after that, before I start with anything, you have to position yourself to remove that bankruptcy. So it's like getting the information to remove the bankruptcy is super important. But what's also more important than removing the bankruptcy is working while you wait. Don't just not get the bankruptcy off and say, well, as soon as I get that off, I'll start the funding process. As soon as I get that off, I'll start building relationships. If you don't start building relationships now, even when you get it off, it's going to be bad.
Okay, thank you. You're saying to remove it. Do you recommend any in particular, I guess, institution or something like that? A suggestion with that?
Yeah. Now it'd be kind of hard to give you like how to remove a bankruptcy, literally so we do have a process. We do have a process, but I'm trying to see if like, are you familiar with credit removal?
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, I've had it done over time. I haven't done it myself. I kind of worked with different vendors that did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, with the bankruptcy is it's definitely something that I believe you could possibly do. It's just one of those things you have to keep going back over. So, like I said, I don't know, but yeah, if you book a call, we can definitely I can point you in the right direction on the BK.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
No, absolutely, thank you. Elder Keith, we got you answering the question.
No. So we coming to the end, y'all.
No. I'm saying I see some hands. I didn't know if you wanted to.
There's some hands up. Okay.
Yeah,
I can. Yeah, it's some hands.
yeah, I had a question. Now, this is Ernest with Willa Conquers there.
Hey, how you doing, Ernest?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, the question I want to ask you, I see on the soft pull, even though they view your credit score, but does it count against your debt ratio once it's approved? Does it count against your personal debt ratio once it's approved on a business card?
I think you asking two questions. So an inquiry doesn't affect your debt to income ratio, but it can affect your credit score. But a soft inquiry doesn't affect anything. It's just more of them looking, you can get a soft inquiry just for having an account. I mean, literally, if you got an account right now, a bank can literally soft pull your credit for no reason just to see, for one, if you have a super high limit cards, for two, if you're the same person that they lend to when you came in the first time. So they can soft pull your credit, but that has no effect on your credit at all. The hard pull is the one that affects you, and that can affect your credit profile, not your debt to income ratio. That because that income ratio will be more or less like capital being put on you.
Okay, no, I'm saying like if they approve the business card and they give you say 10,000.
Oh yeah.
So would that go against your personal debt
Business.
ratio?
It goes against your business. So that card that I just
That
showed
won't be on
you.
your personal business. I mean, that won't be on your personal.
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
So it's some cards that report to the personal credit that are business cards, and those are the ones you want to stay away from. You don't want any personal cards. You don't want any cards that you are business cards for you to report on your personal because of how you want to use them. The leverage that you have using the business cards is you can sit debt or you can manage debt a little different. You can't manage debt on a personal if you got a 20K personal card and you got 20K used. Because now nobody else will give you capital because you look to the lenders, you look unlendable, but it's just not a continued relationship that you can continue to have.
I was getting that. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks.
RG3.
Hey, this is RG3 from JERA Supported Services. I'll make it really, really, really quick. So one of the things that you stated was IP from their home address. So what about those lenders that people that are using virtual addresses instead of their home business address? Are they more likely to not get funded if they're using their home address versus an virtual IP address?
Yeah, well, that's a great question too. So remember, the IP address is where you're applying from. So on the personal app or on the business app, your personal address is going to be on there. It's going to be on there somewhere. And if you use all of the business address, it's where you're located. So it's literally tying back into you, not necessarily the address that you list. So when they're looking you up, kind of part of the pool, like not the soft pool, but they're looking up, they're seeing where you're at. So one of the things people don't understand is that banks want to know. They don't care about your virtual address. Why? When you realize when you're setting up a lot of accounts and you have a virtual address, most of the things the banks have is reverted back to your personal because they don't really care about it. They just want to know where you live so they can bill you where you're at. Smaller institutions like Capital on Tap, they would care specifically, okay, you're not applying from your home. You're not, because they care about those things. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, having a virtual address is a benefit. It's a buffer, so your personal address isn't all over the internet as well. But yeah, it's not gonna have a negative effect just because you apply with a virtual address. But applying from your home address is still going to be important.
Thanks.
Okay. So, go ahead.
I got
Solo.
one. I have one. I have a question. I'm
Okay.
gonna raise my hands. This is John Wilkes, Gyra Supportive Housing.
Okay.
Which would you say is safer or more conducive to a loan? Would a credit union or a bank be more conducive? Or
So
maybe even easier to get
credit union for sure. But I will say this, it just depends on your profile. So if you're pretty decent or strong on the credit side, you know, you wouldn't have an issue with banks. So you know, if that was your case, then it wouldn't matter, you know. And I mean, honestly, in that case, you might not go credit unions first because you might feel like you could get more from the bank. But it totally depends on your credit profile. This is now, if you tell me I have a 750, I would say try the bank route because one thing about credit unions, they're competing for your business. They don't just automatically have your business. So after you go do business with the banks, they still want to, you know, get a piece of the action. So they'll still issue you out loans to be competitive. I mean, that's the Navy Federals. That's like the name of their game. They know they can't approve as many loans as Bank of America, but they try to approve higher, you know, and not higher loans, but higher credit cards for newer people, just because that's their strategy. It's like, we can help the underserved, then we can continue to build up a better outlet. And I mean, it's working so far. I mean, but I mean, they still lend a fraction of what, you know, a major bank does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Tomcat, Kathy, Sandra's Grace.
Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Hey.
No, just wanted to say I love me Solomon. He's my coach, my financial coach, and you know, he teaches me a lot. I haven't been able to get on his Thursday class because of my job, but I always try to get in it, and I always learn a lot. And he has this little link that you click on it, and you get on his calendar, and then you can speak to him. So he's always available, you know. So, you know. He's a good guy. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so he does a coaching class every Thursday where he have his master elite class. And I'm telling you, man, like Kathy, I can't get on a lot, but man, I think about 2 weeks, I think Carrie and Audrey was in it. Man, you had this young lady that was talking about credit. And like I said, I thought I knew some stuff, but man, she dropped some bombs. Solo. Look, man, I was taking notes, and what I love about what you do is the same philosophy that I have. I don't want to give nobody a fish. I want to teach people how to fish. So in your class, and even when I enrolled in your back office, one of the things that really got me was how to research and do recon on banks when you're applying. Like, you can literally find out what bank that is going to report to the credit bureau and the date that they're going to report. Did y'all know that? Like, I was stumped. When I found it, I'm like, wow. I even found out like what bureau they pulled, stuff like that. Like, you need to know this stuff before you apply, you know. And these are some of the things, the gems that I got from your coaching class, man. So I'm elated, man. I'm grateful, you know, that God put you in my life. And you know, man, I'll be man, Solo. What you think about this? What is that? And every time we get on, man, it's like, no, 40 minutes done went by. We still ain't got the way. But you're amazing vessel, man. I appreciate you so much. All right, so listen, y'all, we coming up on the hour, man. We done been here, and it just don't even feel like people got enough questions out here. But we gotta go. So let me drop this on y'all. All right. Y'all know I'm always gonna give you the word, and I'm gonna give you encouragement. But I know last week I said, and I gotta say this, Solomon is even a part of our coalition, y'all. He's a part of He Waiting on Funding too.
I'm sorry.
Funding too. All right, so listen, Linda, listen. So I supposed to hear a positive word, y'all, this Friday. Boy, y'all pulled teeth on me on that one. I didn't want to say that, man, because I know somebody gonna be like, okay, 8 o'clock Friday morning. Elder Keith, you heard something?
7:59.
Y'all laughing, but y'all know the ones that laughing, you know that's who you. But no, but in all honesty, I'm serious. Like that was a serious thing. So all I'm saying is this. This is huge. Like it's so huge. This is not a regular kind of loan, So it's like a grant. It's like this is a lot of money, and it's just got to go through its rounds of approval. Okay, but we're there. You know what I mean? So I was given a positive word, and it may even spill in the next week. I don't know, but all I can tell y'all is I had a dream, man, and in my gut, I know this is it. And we're gonna look back on this a couple of months down the road and be like, boy, that wait it took a while, but Lord, look at where we are now. Amen. I can't wait, man. The summertime,
say
probably gonna be the summertime, but I'm gonna bring everybody down here, man. Y'all gonna pay your own way. I ain't paying for nothing.
Elder Keith.
Yeah.
Elder Keith. So I want to tell you how much faith I had in this. Right, I live in the Bronx, and the property that I bought for through the coalition is in Waterbury, Connecticut, and I bought a house in Waterbury, Connecticut. I moved all my stuff from the Bronx to there because I believe so much that this is going to happen, that I want to be close to the property that I'm going to own. So that's how much faith, that I talk to God, and I have faith in what Elder Keith does. So have faith, people, because if I did this big move, I took my whole place. I'm not going to tell you how many years because it doesn't tell her age.
I've been there.
But
I've been to her place.
All my life, I've lived in the Bronx, and I'm making this big change because of the faith that I have in God and in Elder Keith. So I just wanted to share that.
I didn't bring him on. I brought him on strategically for a reason, y'all. Having fiduciary responsibilities is going to be paramount. It's going to be important. Learning how to manage what you're going to get and learning the money game. That's why I brought him on, because we're at that point right now. Like when this money comes, you're going to really need some counseling. You're going to need some coaching. Okay? Because money must beget money. Money must beget money. Time out for trading time for dollars. It's now time to start reinvesting and investing and making those dollars work for you on a consistent basis. Y'all in agreement with that one?
Absolutely.
Yes. Hi, Keith.
Hi.
It's Peyton.
Hey, Peyton, how you doing? You came in late, and we're about
I know.
to go.
You remember I told you I had to go to that mirror?
Yeah. So we got a couple of people from Chicago here. Say hello to Peyton, y'all, from Chicago.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Peyton. It's Teresa.
Hi, honey. George, are you on? Is
All
George
right.
on the line?
So listen, we're gonna pray out. It's almost 9:28. I'm sorry, 8:28, 9:30, 8:30. And my team, who does all of the managing all of this stuff for me, like they're in the Philippines, y'all, and it's early in the morning. They got to go to work. So I want to release them. Okay, that's okay with y'all? So y'all thank them, man, for Shara and Therese for
Thank
building
you.
your
Thanks,
website,
Laura and Therese.
all this
Yeah.
stuff, y'all.
Thank you.
Okay. And when we have our summit, they're gonna be here. So y'all gonna get a chance to see them firsthand right up front. And we're gonna have a week of nothing but powerful training. Solo will be one of our major people that's gonna do the training. Okay. So y'all just get ready, get ready, get ready.
I'm so excited. Ooh, I'm so excited.
Yes, 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 yes. So how many people here have found your property? Have found the property and are in touch with your realtor? Y'all better get ready. Because when your call come, yo, don't be scrambling trying to find nothing. You better have about 4 or 5 of them lined up. Okay? Y'all ready? All
For
right.
sure.
All right, let me pray us out. Father,
Captain,
we
one
thank
quick
you.
question before we pray.
Okay.
Did I hear you say you're taking us to the Philippines?
No, I said.
Okay.
Boy, I tell you,
I had to try,
boy,
Elder. I had to try. Okay.
I got you. No. All right, so listen, on everything I love, man, I love y'all so much, man. This is just amazing. And for everybody that's on this call, that's a part of the Dr. Kiwi's program on Thursdays at 6 o'clock. That's going to be major. But for those that have not paid your money for your class, please pay. Make sure you pay, because I'm having a meeting with him tomorrow on how we're going to do our class, the graduation. Okay. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. For those that do know what I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm saying. Okay.
Yes, Q, can you send me the information? It's Peyton. Can you send me the information for the class?
I sure will.
Okay.
But it's going to give you all access to the UN, United Nations, credentials. Y'all hear me? Diplomatic status. Hello. So when you're getting ready to go to the prisons, you pull that badge out. Ain't no more. Oh, wait a minute. You got to go through protocol. You're gonna have diplomatic status. All right. Nah, this is huge. This is a major move. All right.
What about the airport? The TSA?
Listen, when you're getting ready to fly, you know, at TSA, that long line.
I ain't got to take my shoes off.
You gotta take your shoes off, your belt off, and all that. When you peel that badge out, they gonna escort you all the way through. They're gonna call you your Royal Highness, whatever, as an official UN ambassador. They're gonna walk you through to your seat. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Boy, that's a drop the mic moment there.
I got to talk to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This big, y'all. Anyway, let's pray out. Father, we thank you for everything that's said. We pray that you will continually guard and protect our brother Solo, expand his territory, give him wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to continue to lead and guide your people through this financial wilderness that we're caught up in. Also, Father, as we pray out, we pray a special prayer for Sister Mildred Smith, who's making this happen. We send forth your blessings upon her and her family, that she will continually be a vessel to be used by you to release kingdom finances throughout this earth. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I'm done, man. I'm just done. I'm so full.
Amen.
I'm so full. Thank you, Solo. Thank you so much, man, for taking out the time, man. And I know your daughter going back to her. She the boss of the house. I was talking to him earlier, man. I could hear her in the background.
Absolutely, man.
rich. This was rich
Thank you.
information.
Thank
Yes,
you. Thank you.
thank y'all so much. And we will see y'all next week.
Hey, Elder Keith,
Yes.
the previous meeting, Bev gave out all my information. Could someone on your team add me to the weekly meetings?
Okay, here's what I need you to do. Go to www.openupahalfwayhouse.com.
Okay.
Sign up for a free mastermind class. Also subscribe to our website and to the newsletter and all that. I'll capture your information and that way I can have it and actually put you in.
Okay, I'm typing that. So www open halfway house.
Yeah, .openupahalfwayhouse.com. And
I'll
for
post
every
it in our GC.
yeah.
I'll post it.
Okay.
All right, yeah, it's in the chat. It's in the chat. And another thing, for everybody that have board members that are part of this and they're not on our mailing list, please have them sign up. Also, go to the Halfway House Coalition. Sign up there also. Halfway House Coalition. So every board member that's a part of the, the tribe, and you're here, your leader brought you on, you're able to join our mailing list and be able to get into this this training. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, Elder Keith.
All right.
That was Bev.
You're welcome. And I got a special challenge for everybody. For all of you all that are stuck and you're not able to move forward for whatever reasons. Maybe you're working too much, life done showed up, and you really, really need to get help to get unstuck. And you want to join Miss Millie's class or whatever, and you need some help, please reach out to me.
Miss Juanita class.
No, my class.
That's nice.
Okay.
Please reach out to me. Okay.
I'm calling you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Again.
Going in hyper mode. Hyper mode. I need to get everybody ready, y'all. I really need y'all ready, man. I need y'all to receive.
I got some good news.
Huh?
I got some good news.
Come on, Lou. Come on, Lou. It's testimony time now. Come on, Lou.
I actually met with the head lady. She's over the adult probation parole today. She put me into her network, and she's referring me over to a lot of different people in her network, and I should be getting some phone calls pretty soon here. And she was ready to actually give me some clients today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big. That's a blessing there.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, let me tell you, I'm so proud of him. Let me tell y'all this, because every time, and y'all know this for real. If y'all need help with talking to anybody, you call me. Now, Lou been with me for a while. So he called me, said, I got this meeting. I need you. I said, no, you don't.
Yep.
I said, man, you've been with me long enough. You know this business better than me. So walk in confidence. He said, okay, I got it. So he called me today solo. He was like, I did it. I'm so proud of you. Cherie Clark, are you here? Man, I got a text with her. She got featured in the local newspaper, y'all. Amazing. And she just started 2 months ago.
Congratulations.
And already got featured in the newspaper where the city is literally partnering with her organization.
What city is she in?
She's in.
I'm in 29
California. Oh, she can speak for herself. There you go. Come on.
That's great.
Congratulations
to you.
She can speak
Thank
for herself. Come on, Cherie.
I'm in 29 Palms, California. I'm like 60 miles south of Palm Springs. We're in a small city right by Joshua Tree National Park. We're the next city over.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, they came out to the house, and the newspaper came out, and took videos and put us in the front page of the newspaper. So that was really big. And then on the 28th, I'll be speaking in front of the council about the funding that I'm asking for the homes. And we got 2 more homes. So I found an investor that he doesn't want to house anyone but halfway houses. So he got us 3 houses already. And he said however many more that I want.
And guess what, y'all? This is the no money down system. How much money you put down for that?
Nothing, zero.
Zero,
Wow.
y'all. Zero.
So, yes. So we got the actual, so you have to understand, like people that does the repairs on homes, they want to just have the write-off because they owe so many taxes at the end of the year. He was like, I don't even want to be paid. Just buy the material. The owner bought the material and he wrote off all the repairs. He just wants a write-off through the nonprofit for his repairs.
See the power of your nonprofit? Do y'all
Yes.
look at the power of your nonprofit?
Mm-hmm.
It's gold. So if you got it sitting on the shelf, dust that thing off, man.
Is he doing anything
There
in
is.
Chicago, Illinois too?
Huh?
Is he doing anything in Chicago or just the one state?
No, she's in 29 Palms.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So again, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Love you. Love you. Love you. Give it up for Solo again, y'all. Awesome, awesome opportunity. And if you want to reach out to him, you can. You want to
Elder
join?
Keith, can you read what Bishop Mark just dropped in the chat?
No. What it say? What
Oh.
I have a great new elder. I'm giving carte blanche to go into 15 prisons and have clients for homes the city has given, houses that people lost their home due to tax. They gave me 150. You can't script this, y'all.
Wow, that is
Mark, you gotta come on,
huge.
Mark. You can talk now. You is of age.
Man of God, I'm just speechless right about now. I'm very speechless. God has opened doors. I went to see the mayor, and the mayor was so happy because there's nothing like this in Massachusetts. They have halfway houses, but for mental patients and alcoholic patients, but nothing for inmates. And they said that they can not hold the inmates anymore. So I met with the sheriff that does all of the inmates intake and all the information that comes out for when they come out from prison. And he said, listen, if this thing comes out for real with coalition, we have all these inmates we will give you and they can go to your halfway. So right now we have 150 houses. The city has 2 that they own and they want to give them to me. And all I got to do is put the down payment and that's it. So I just thank God for that.
Amen. And how long did it, when we did your 501c3, how long did it took for you to get it back? Come on, give a testimony.
Oh,
Come
Lord,
on.
3 days.
3 days, y'all.
3
Wow.
3
3
days.
days.
Yeah. So
Yep.
you know this God, man. This all
It is
God.
all God.
And you know, Mark is my good friend from South Florida. He moved up there with his family to Massachusetts. And he called me when I was in Richmond for the the NAR convention. And he was like, man of God, I ain't know you was doing what you're doing. Man, I always wanted to do it. Yeah, and you know, he signed up, you know what I mean? Let me tell you what friends do. He didn't ask me, well, listen, can you do this for me for free? He knew how much my fee was. He didn't squawk. When I gave him the price, he paid. You know, and I would have gave him a discount. But the beauty of it is he valued what I do. You know what I mean? Like he saw the value, and that means a lot to me. And this is my good friend. You know, and friends supposed to support friends, right? And when you got a friend that always wants something for free, you need to get rid of that one. All right. So y'all pulling on me, man. I gotta go, y'all. I gotta go. I love y'all so much, man. We gonna talk. All right. And Florida Coalition members, we having our coalition meeting this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. It's open to the whole coalition. For those of you that don't know how to do these meetings, if you want to come in and learn, you can come in and sit. You won't have any voting power, but you will get an opportunity to hear how we do it. All right. God bless you. See you later, Kelly.
Thank you. Good
All
night.
right, Mary. All right, Aprecia. Rose
Good night.
how you doing,
I'm on here.
darling?
How are you?
Thank you for coming in.
I told you I was coming. Look, I'm at the hospital with my sister, with my mom, and I've been on here.
Wow, you are awesome, man. I got you though, sis. I told you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I got you.
Hearing
All right.
these testimonies, like, oh my God. Whew.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, Mary.
Have a good night, everyone.
All right.
You too.
Shaq. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Oh man, anything good, man. No complaints over here working a little bit.
Yeah. Look, man, right before the breakthrough, the storm hits, right?
Never lie.
But it ain't never stopped us, boy. It ain't gonna never stop us. All right, good night, everybody.